two most important days of your life is the day you're born and the day you discover why. All you have to do is uncover this gift that God gave you at birth, the one that he created in every living soul. He never created a person that he didn't give a gift to. All you got to do is uncover that gift that he gave you and start using it. Your gift will make room for you. Now, what is your gift? It's the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift. Quit running away from the gift. Your gift will make room for you. Stop trying to be something you ain't gifted at. A friend of mine we grew up with, all he did was cut grass. He had a single blade lawnmower that he pushed. He was so good at it, he could raise the blades up and lower them. He could cut patterns in your grass. We little, I'm going, hey man, we going swimming. Now I got to cut Miss Jackson grass. He could cut patterns in your yard. He could put your initials in your grass as a little boy. $2 for the front, $2 for the back. $4. We used to laugh at him all the time. Well, let me tell you what we laughing at now. He got a landscaping company in Cleveland. You know how much this boy making? $4 million a year. You know what he do? He cut grass. He got 38 trucks. He got all the contracts in the city, malls, corporations. And when it snow outside, he do such a good job cutting the grass, he put plows on the front of his trucks, and he got all the snow removal contracts. This boy making $4 million a year, and you know what he do? He cut grass. If you want to be successful, you got to change your mind, and you're going to have some faith. We all live inside a bubble, right? This is our world. We go to church here, we work over here, we go get our coffee over here. We go to this park over here. We usually go over here to, hang out with friends. This is our favorite club. This is our world. This is our favorite spot on the beach. We all live in this bubble. What you got to do to get the life that God wants you to have, you got to put more air in your bubble. You got to blow your bubble up. Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone. Do not live in your bubble. Put some more air in your bubble. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life and your ass was asleep. Negativity, you can protect yourself from negativity. And that's what stops most people, negative thoughts. You can coat your mind from negativity. It's a real simple exercise to do. I do it every morning before I walk out the door. So I walk out as a positive person. You know, I get tired sometimes. That's different from being negative because I get mentally drained from my job at times. But to coat your mind from negativity, the way you can put a coating around your mind is with one simple thing, gratitude. Gratitude erases negativity. I'm gonna show you how this works. If you wake up in the morning, you start having negative thoughts, man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. Every time you feel, in the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop, just stop for a second. And start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want, everything you already have. Because what you have is substantial. You just haven't gone over the list and taken inventory in a long time. But the fact that you can walk, that's a blessing. The fact that you woke up, that's another blessing. The fact that you can see, think, reason, that's another blessing. The fact that you can go somewhere and get yourself something to eat, that's another blessing. The fact that you can go and turn the key and call someplace home, that's another blessing. The ability to dream is a blessing. The fact that you have an opportunity to get it right is another blessing. The fact that you're beautiful, that's another blessing. The fact that you have any measure of health, that's another blessing. And I'm just talking to you, I don't even know you. I could give you 50 things you ought to be grateful for right now. I don't even know you. Start coating your mind with gratitude. It'll change everything for you. Listen to everybody. Jumping is scary. When you first jump, your parachute is not going to open right away. I would love to tell you that it would. It ain't gonna happen. The chute don't ever open right away. At times it's gonna feel like it's an uncontrollable tumble. But let me tell you this. If you don't ever jump, your parachute will never open. You will never soar. Now you'll be safe. You'll sit there with that parachute on your back, all them skills you got and your skills you got, and you'll have it packed away and you'll never get cut up on the rocks. Don't jump and you'll never get cut up. But if you do not jump, you will never soar. But you ain't gonna know unless you jump. I would jump, man. I would jump. Should take a chance.
In all you're getting, get understanding. That's why you're going to have to study planning this year. You're going to have to plan everything you want God to change. Because no one loves change. You pray for it and hate it when it comes. So we got to talk about change a little bit.
Most people want what I call a quick fix.
Because it's inevitable now. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen this year. Everything will change. I was watching the news this week and they were talking about the new telephone that just came out by a company. And the phone was out for 5 months. And then the news reporter says, but the next version of it has already arrived. Which means in 5 months, your phone you just bought is history. I'll never forget the day I walked in to an appliance electronics store in the United States. I just bought a computer and something went wrong with I couldn't find the plug. And I tried to go buy the plug. The computer was 10 months old. The guy said, we don't make them anymore. He said, you got to buy a universal plug. I couldn't believe it. But now it's down to 5 months. That's how fast you're going to have to be able to respond to change. If you don't do something this year with your life, you're going to regret it next year. Doing nothing is no longer an option.
And you wonder why you're not being successful. And you're back to the same place that you were. It's faster downhill than it is uphill. It's easier downhill than it is uphill. It's quicker downhill than it is uphill. And so what happens is, we have a lot of good uphill days, but we have a few downhill days, and the few downhill days cancel out all the uphill days.
In other words, here's the bottom line. We must decide the change we decide.
Good intentions is on one side of the water, and good actions is on the other side. And the bridge is self-discipline that takes our good intentions and turns them into good actions.
You will have to decide the change that you want. Change is coming in any event.
Every day, every day.
So you're going to have to decide what that change will be in your life. This is why you cannot sit watching the game anymore.
All of us here have great minds, but we all know how to think. And with our minds, we can rationalize anything, we can make anything happen.
What's the quickest way for me to be very wealthy, highly influential, and very successful in life? Just cut out just give me the just straight, quick, fast, easy way. There's no such thing.
Spectators will be destroyed.
And self-discipline is the vehicle to get you.
You're going to have to get involved in your life, in your environment, and what happens in your life. No longer is it going to work this year where you sit down and say, let me see what happens. That's going to destroy you.
Listen to me carefully. There is nothing I can do for an undisciplined person to make them successful.
You're going to have to be responsible for deciding this is what's going to happen in my life.
Makes habit your servant instead of your master.
I promise you, if you sit by and just watch life, life will change your life in a way you're going to regret.
And the moment the pen starts moving, the ideas begin to come. The moment the pen starts moving, you got to move the pen. The ideas don't come to the hand without the pen. It's the motion controlling the emotion, which turns into self-discipline.
I really want to know what's driving you.
Again,
What makes the difference in the quality of people's lives? But when it comes to fulfillment, that's an art. And the reason is it's about appreciation and it's about contribution. You can only feel so much by yourself. So the question we got to ask ourselves really is, what is it?
high morale is uphill climbing. Low morale is in downhill sliding. You get high self-respect if you climb uphill. Low self-respect if you're going downhill. Self-improvement uphill. No improvement downhill. You're purposeful uphill. You're aimless downhill. You're fulfilled uphill. You're empty downhill. You're making a difference uphill. You're not making any difference downhill. You're intentional in your actions uphill. You're got just good intentions on downhill. A lack of self-discipline is a lack of knowing what you want in life. And when you don't know what you want, you won't have any self-discipline power to get there.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't plan, life will plan your life for you.
Self-discipline makes consistency possible. You only become excellent in something because you're consistent with it.
Very important.
Now,
Most of society thinks biography is destiny. The past equals the future. And of course it does if you live there. But what people in this room know, and what we have to remind ourselves though, because you can know something intellectually, you can know what to do and then not use it, not apply it. So really what we got to remind ourselves is decision is the ultimate power, right? The story people tell us is a bunch of different stories. They tell us we don't have the resources, but ultimately what determines your resources, we've said decisions shape destiny, which is my focus here. If decisions shape destiny, what determines it is 3 decisions. What are you going to focus on? Right now, you have to decide what you're going to focus on. In this second, consciously or unconsciously, the minute you decide to focus on something, you got to give it a meaning.
I put it to you, and this is my heart. When changes that you want to see happen are planned, you control life.
And whatever that meaning is produces emotion. Is this the end or the beginning? Is God punishing me or rewarding me, or is this the roll of the dice? And emotion then creates what we're going to do, or the action. So think about your own life, the decisions that have shaped your destiny. And that sounds really heavy, but in the last 5 or 10 years, 15 years, haven't there been some decisions you've made that if you made a different decision, your life would be completely different? So the bottom line is maybe it was where to go to work and you met the love of your life there. Maybe it was a career decision. The history of our world is these decisions. When a woman stands up and says, no, I won't go to the back of the bus, she didn't just affect her life. That decision shaped our culture. Or someone standing in front of a tank. Or being in a position like Lance Armstrong and someone says to you, you've got testicular cancer. That's pretty tough for any male, especially if you ride a bike. You got it in your brain, you got it in your lungs. But what was his decision of what to focus on? Different than most people. What did it mean? It wasn't the end, it was the beginning. What am I going to do? He goes off and wins 7 championships he never won once before the cancer because he got emotional fitness, psychological strength. That's the difference in human beings.
How do you do that?
First, what's your target? What are you after? Once you know what the target that's driving you is, and you uncover it for the truth, you don't form it, you uncover it. Then you find out what's your map. What's the belief systems that are telling you how to get those needs?
I wish I had time to develop that for you, because what happens is, unless you and I have a clear picture of what we're looking for, we don't know when we see it. Happens all the time. What's your secret? And what I've discovered is that successful people have always positioned themselves well. When you see a successful person, they're successful because what they have done is they've found their strength zone and they've found their niche, and they stay right in that sweet spot, and they just work that sweet spot. You've never heard anybody be interviewed that was successful that you came up and you interviewed and they said, well, the secret of my success is that I've never discovered what I was good at.
Now, let me give you 3 steps to personal development. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What does it take to really make the changes starting tomorrow? Discipline. Major step to human progress. Discipline. Get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things. What could you make yourself do starting tomorrow that would change it all? On any given day, you can massively change the direction of your life. Now, here's the key to discipline. Start with the little disciplines, get excited over the little disciplines, and get right on those, because those will lead to the big ones. You can't handle the big challenges in life unless you take on the little ones. Make a list of all the things you can do, get right on those, discipline yourself for those, both for the results and for the muscle and for the practice, so that when life hands you some big challenges, you'll be ready, you'll have the muscle. But see, if you don't handle the small ones, you can't take care of the big ones. Here's what else it takes for life change. Self-motivation. Key phrase, self-motivation. I don't know why we call it self-motivation. It's really the only kind there is. You got to motivate yourself. Because I found out you can't change people. They can change themselves, but you can't change them. Lord knows some I've tried. People have to change themselves. So it takes self-motivation to really alter your life. And you don't want to give self-motivation away to somebody else and make it somebody else motivating you. If you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. Don't leave it to chance. Make it a study. Some people just go through the day with their fingers crossed. See, that won't do it. You've got to study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life. You may not be able to do all you find out, but you should find out all you can do. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it. And the other 9/10 went down the drain. Not for lack of opportunity, for lack of information. All of the successful people I know and work with around the world, they're all good readers. Curiosity drives them to read. They gotta know. They just read. Become a good reader. One way to learn is from your own experiences, but another way to learn is from other people's experiences. See, one book might save you 5 years if you read. Did you know there's books on how to be stronger, more decisive, be a speaker, be a leader, have a better effect on other people, develop your personality? Did you know there's books on that and people don't read them? Did you know that hundreds of successful people have written their stories in books and they wrote down how they did it and people don't read it? How would you explain that? The guy's busy, I guess. You know, you get tied up. The guy says, well, yeah, you work where I work. By the time you struggle home, it's late. You got to eat a bite of supper, watch a little TV, get to bed. You can't sit up half the night reading. And the guy's behind on his car payment. Good worker, hard worker, sincere. But you got to be better than sincere and work hard. Otherwise, at the end of your life, you'll wind up cold, stony broke. You got to be better than a good worker. You got to be a good reader.